MyEnergy is putting the I back into British innovation. MyEnergy is putting the I back into inventing the future. MyEnergy is putting the I back into inspiring a nation. Recharging the world with green, smart energy. Charge your EV with your PV and more. Visit myenergy.com and help to spark the green revolution. MyEnergy, driving the charge to a greener future.
So, welcome to the Fully Charged Plus podcast, coming live from Fully Charged Live. I mean, there's so many lives and Fully Charged in that sentence, I can't. I'm sure I've got it right.
We're alive, so that's two straight off, isn't it?
We are. And I'm joined by the wonderful Roger Atkins here today. We're up on the roof of the Genesis stand. First time Genesis have been here with the Genesis cars out there.
That's so nice of Phil Collins to lend us his rig. I mean, how kind is that?
I did not see that really naff old dad's joke coming,
sorry.
I love it.
Sorry.
No, but the Genesis cars, first time I've seen them in the metal down there. They're very
the more the merrier, Rob.
Yeah,
the more the merrier.
Look at them. I mean, this place is bonkers, how much is going on here. So we're at Fully Charged Live at Farnborough 2022. It's still early in the morning. We're not open yet, but as you can see, there's a lot of vehicles arriving, and actually a very chunky proportion of them are electric.
Yes,
which is
they are.
Very encouraging.
Indeed, they are. Well, and by the end of the next 3 days, there'll be even more probably.
Oh, there's already thousands. So there's thousands of test drives taking place today as well.
Wow.
So there's a big rush to get that done. But anyway, that aside, because this will be history by the time this goes out. You've been very busy.
Yes.
Doing roving reporting all over the globe about the energy transition. I'm keeping it as broad as that.
Yes, I think so. Well, let me sort of give a kind of context to it. Where I live, my wife and I, she kind of sees me as a kind of bed and breakfast tenant. So I have to leave in the morning and only come back, later in the evening.
So you've got to find something to do all day.
Got to find something to do. So yes, the globe-trotting began last Friday in Norwich.
Right.
So yes, a bit of a trek from where I live, but I'm going to Norwich to grid serve. So I know I'm going to go to a place with, what have they got? 36 fast chargers, 350 kilowatt chargers, all of them. They've got Tesla chargers. They've got everything, and a spectacular location up on a hill, adjacent to all of these. The whole road artery of that part of the world.
But also just the very fact that there is a hill, because I know the Cathedral of Norwich is up on a hill.
Yes,
that's why they built there. But it's the flattest part of the UK. So the fact that it's on a hill is impressive.
They found the only hill. This is the only hill available, and they grabbed it. I didn't see it at night because I went during the day to interview, to actually get Toddington, the boss, to give me a walk around, show and tell thing, which he did. Charge up my car as well, of course. But this is you were at Braintree, the first electric forecourt that they launched in Braintree, 15 months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
So this is the second one, different design. So it's all wraparound charging underneath. The footprint of the site of the building means that all of the stuff, the shop and the displayers, etc., all upstairs, and all the charging sort of wrapped around it, rather than as you see it at Braintree. So different approach, fantastic, spectacular stuff.
Brilliant. And also the fact that you do, we know from long experience of driving electric cars on a new journey, a long journey that you've not been before, the fact that you absolutely have no doubt at all, not a scintilla of doubt, that one of those 36 chargers will work and you will be able to charge your car. I mean, that's the big shift, I think.
Oh, the odds are absolutely stacked in your favour. Totally. So yeah, that's it. And I had a lot on that day, but I only had like about 50 minutes, just barely an hour with Toddington to film him, doing this walk around.
Right.
So by the time, I think I arrived like 60 odd miles, by the time I was ready to leave, I'm like fully charged.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
You
fully
did.
charged,
dropped
that in. Did you like that?
We just have an aircraft taking over. We are, and I think I should explain to listeners that are, overseas or don't know about this. We're at a place called Farnborough Airfield. It's a very famous airfield in the UK because it's where every year they have the International Air Show, which is I think, if not the biggest, certainly one of the biggest air shows in the world.
It's a whopper, mate, not half.
But so we're actually right on the side of a runway, but there's mostly light aircraft, and there used to be loads more of those Lear jets that we can see in the distance, but they've all gone back to Russia, the other ones.
Ooh.
There were quite a lot that departed.
Well, there you are then.
Yeah,
Well,
but we won't go into that
Yeah.
aspect of the current
no,
crisis.
moving quickly on.
Moving quickly on. You gen me up on Formula 3 because something's happened. So I remember
Formula E.
Formula E. What am
Yep.
I talking about?
That's all right.
Sorry.
Yeah,
It's Model 3 Formula E.
that's it.
Formula E.
Gen 3.
That's what it is.
Generation 3.
Generation 3 Formula E.
Yes, so this is really exciting. So 8 years ago, they kind of kicked off,
Yeah.
where we've gone through these different seasons, seeing all this electric racing all around the world in cities. And it isn't just the electric racing, of course. They combine it with, a smart city event. They get the mayor along. It becomes a bit of a catalyst to a number of things going on, all the right things going on, which is great. So the iteration they're at now with the technology is Generation 3, Gen 3. This is going to be truly significant because the cars will go faster, they'll charge quicker, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I haven't got the full details, otherwise I'd love to go.
Was this just released
through it all.
yesterday?
Yeah,
It's very
yesterday.
recent.
So
Right.
in Monaco, it's the Monaco E-Prix this weekend.
Right.
So anyone that is here isn't in Monaco, and anyone in Monaco isn't here.
Yes.
But they took the opportunity to have a kind of swanky launch of it all yesterday and go through it. So the details still coming out, but I know it's going to be significant. This is going to be game changing for what it looks like as a spectacle, how it comes across on TV, what it's like for the drivers, and this is and it illustrates how quickly and fast electric vehicle technology is developing.
Yeah, I mean that's because that thing is many people may not know that in the first generation of Formula E, when it first started, the drivers did half the race in one car. And then the battery was flat, so they then had to get out of that car, jump into another car, strap in, and drive off in another car. So they had to have every driver had two cars. Generation 2, that's no longer the case. They can do the whole race on one go, and that sounds like this. It would be so exciting if they did do a rapid charge halfway through, like a refuel.
I'd love to see a pit stop. I think. Do you know one of my I like
Stops
motorsport.
are my favourite bit.
My favourite sound in motorsport. I'm going to do it. I hope it doesn't do something to your sound levels. But that one they go, the wheel guns.
Oh, you've got to have the wheel guns.
Oh, it's superb. So if they're going to bring, I don't know. So this is speculation. Please don't take this as that's what I think.
But did they mention rapid charging in
they did,
their list of things? Right,
absolutely. So you kind of think, surely that means something in between.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But the intriguing thing in all this, going on about technical development and improvement for road vehicles, road EVs, is that you're seeing people. Well, the people that are involved in this from the beginning. Well, Williams, for example, Williams Advanced Engineering. And you've got McLaren involved in it. You've got Lucid involved in it.
Right.
Peter Rawlinson of Lucid gave a fabulous
very good.
piece to camera around the
brilliant.
battery pack recently,
Right.
and he absolutely explained how some of the significant development in that battery pack, which is an amazing battery pack in the Lucid, has come from development work within Formula E.
Ah, right, okay, because that's the first time I've sort of heard that confirmed, because that's always the notion.
Yes.
Is that, Formula One cars, we got disc brakes and, there's a lot of technology.
And regen, of course, don't forget
all
that.
those things,
Harvesting energy came out of Formula One.
You're right, yeah. So that is very exciting. But that will be next year then, the next season.
Yes,
2023,
next season. Yeah, so we're mid-season Formula E at the moment. So next season it's going to be very different, very fast.
Yeah. I'm really, because my worry when it first started was always it won't last. They'll do a year's thing because it sounded like it was such an extreme jump from nothing to those first races.
Rob,
and the expense.
You were in good company. I think most people, most experts, so-called, in motorsport didn't give it a chance. There's a phrase I could use, but it's a sweary word phrase, so I won't use it. But they didn't have open hell as far as they were concerned. But the timing of it was right. I think the fact that electric vehicles were where they were at that time, awareness of climate change and all of that challenge, and don't take anything away from Alessandro Agag. He's probably not everyone's cup of tea.
He's an extraordinary man.
He is, and to drive these things and make them happen takes a lot of energy, focus, determination, and you kind of have to ignore all the naysayers and detractors. There's always those people saying, "Oh, you can't, you shouldn't, you won't, whatever," and he's just got on with it and done it. So hats off.
I don't even know how many years it is now. What will next year be?
This will be season 9. I think it's season 9. Is it 8 or 9?
It's definitely 8 or 9.
Yeah, so it's rocking on nicely.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. Now then, yesterday you were all over American media. I love saying
yeah, man. Yeah,
sorry. Totally over American media.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much for that, Bobby. I was doing my I kind of was invited. I thought, thank you so much, American friends. I mustn't do a Trump impression, must I?
No, don't try not to.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm not going to try at all. I was very flattered to be invited as a board advisor of Momentum Dynamics to help out with a kind of virtual road trip.
Right.
Following a trip I'd made a few weeks earlier, actually, to America to go and look at a whole bunch of electric buses, which Jack kindly talked about when you did that fantastic Norwegian trip recently, showing wireless charger and swap and some other stuff.
So those two things I think are intriguing. I loved it. So yeah,
they are. So yes, yesterday afternoon it was a bit nuts. Really, kind of started at lunchtime and then went through till 6 o'clock. I kept clicking on Zoom links and going on to all these people, and then someone would say 30 seconds, Roger, and I thought, I'm going to get like stuck in a rocket and lift off any minute. And then I was, talking to these news anchors, and they're all focused now. They're massively focused on electric vehicles, Rob, in America.
Right.
Primarily because gas prices have gone through the roof, Raj. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
So they're very focused on that more than at any other time. You've got Ford just releasing the Ford F-150 Lightning, which I think is massively significant.
Yeah.
We all know the glory that's been Tesla for nearly 2 decades and all that's done. But yeah, what they were focused on mainly was the charging proposition.
Right.
How is that going to improve? There was a lot of compare and contrast with, and you'll like something I said, by the way, because I was thinking of you when I said it. Comparing and contrasting how long it takes to charge up a vehicle and what range it gives you when you do that. So there was like, well, this wireless charging, which I was there talking about, they said, does this charge faster? I said, no, 70 kilowatt charging is 70 kilowatt charging.
Right.
So X amount of miles, depending upon what your battery is at a given time, etc., etc. And they said, oh, okay. There was an occasional moment of disappointment, but I said, can I also compare something else to you? I said, the fossil fuel that goes in your combustion car took about 1.5 million, maybe a couple of million years to get in there.
Yeah.
The energy that comes from solar farms that goes into charging that I've recently seen takes 9 minutes to come from the sun.
Right. Yes.
So let's compare 9 minutes with a couple of million years if we're comparing timelines. I felt quite smug when I did that
will
one.
annoy certain people, but in a good way.
I did. Yeah, I am an annoying person, Rob. So I'm just true to form. But the thing that struck me about it was, in fairness to these news anchors, because the media can sometimes be a little bit tricky. They take you down.
They love a negative story.
And they can take you down
doesn't it?
take you down a bit of a blind alley, and then they're going to duff you up verbally somehow. Yeah. But they weren't. They were very constructive. They're very supportive. You could tell. I think quite a few of them, maybe all of these news people, were either driving EVs or thinking of driving EVs. So you were talking with them, and there's the audience behind them. And it was quite exciting, actually, because I think the CBS one was like, national television at sort of 7:30 in the morning, people having their, coffee and all of that stuff. And what's happening, Rob?
I don't know.
What's happening?
Looks like we're about to take off.
We've taken off. Oh, my word. Rob, I'm not strapped in.
We have no idea what that was. That we're by the Mega Theatre at Fully Charged Live. For those of you that have just joined us, that's what you have to say. For those of you who just joined us, so and I'm on stage there in a few hours.
Very nice. Yeah. I've just seen Imogen Pierce.
Yes, Imogen.
I've got to tell. Can I have a quick segue?
Do a segue.
Do a segue. So I was.
I'm now worried for you.
No, it's fine. It's just a segue. Last year, I made a documentary called Motorsport in the Electric Age, where I was trying to talk about Formula 1 and Formula E. I was a bit biased to Formula 1, and I apologise for that. Nonetheless, we're doing a second episode now, and Imogen and I and the film crew were at Williams Advanced Engineering last week.
Yep.
We're at McLaren next week, and we've got some other nice people to talk to. And that's all trying to illustrate what technologies are coming out. I'm not going to say what they are, because that's going to be in the film.
Oh, good.
But fantastic, everyday things that are going to help people with energy efficiency and lots of other things, and it all emanates from motorsport. And I think it's that kind of continued flavour of, well, so what? People racing around a racetrack. What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah.
So there's some interesting stuff going on there. So Imogen, who I know works on your team, has kindly helped the old fella out.
That's excellent.
Because, of course, she's got a technical background. She's a former aerodynamicist. So
Yeah.
I need someone who actually knows what they're talking
It's
about.
quite useful.
Yeah, well,
It's quite
I can blag up to a point, but then the blagging
It's very
gets
important.
exposed.
You've got to know the right
Yeah.
people. I just want to quickly make an aside that we're sitting right next. Everyone in the world who listens to this will be aware of the dustbin truck coming to take your garbage away.
Yep. Trash. Call it trash.
Trash.
Anyone in America
trash,
listen.
garbage, rubbish, whatever you want to call it. The noise.
Yes.
There is a garbage truck moving right next to us at the moment, and you can't hear anything except it's got its reversing beeper on at the moment.
Ooh.
Electric garbage truck. Just saying. Just wanted
Nice.
to comment. That's on display here. And there's that white thing. I don't even know what that is, but it's really
a lorry.
cool. A six-wheel truck. I want one of those.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like a what do they call it? Unimog.
It's like a massive electric Unimog.
Yeah.
It's very cool. that
Well,
is. Anyway,
Rob, to my mind, and it is happening now, I've always believed that the adoption of electric commercial vehicles, buses,
it's gonna be
taxis,
quicker,
vans.
I think.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's got to happen quicker because think about it. They're the things that often create most pollution in towns and cities. So the twin imperative of cleaner urban air and CO2 reduction.
but it's also, the fleet managers I've spoken to.
Yep.
I've got some pals in fleet management. They go, look, we run on spreadsheets.
Yes.
You ask an individual motorist, well, what have you thought about electric? Well, yeah, but it's the upfront cost. And you go, well, the running cost. Yeah, I don't know. You have a fleet manager who's got 1,000 vehicles and they're listed here, and he goes, this is how much I spend on diesel every week.
Yes.
And they know to the last penny, and it's £152,364.12.
Yeah.
And then they go, and this is what I spend on electricity each week, 4,720. And they go, I don't care about upfront cost. I'm saving so much money.
Well, do you know what? On that little tour I had in the States, I was in Wenatchee, Washington State.
Right.
So it's not like where the politicians are. And the guy running the fleet there, Link Transit, told me he can be within a fraction of the budget forecast he's got because they're using renewable energy from hydro straight into their electric buses, which charge wirelessly. And unlike before, where the volatility of petrol diesel costs was such that, half the time he had no idea what, from his forecast, what was going to end up being.
Yeah, that's true.
So having a lot more confidence in predicting your budgets for fleet operators, man, this is really significantly important.
Yeah.
And the margin of error, of course, we all know crazy stuff's going on with energy prices at the moment, but the margin of error is much more so in combustion engine fuels than it is in
electric,
supply of electric.
And there's also, everyone, particularly in big companies, have that possible advantage that they can generate at least some of their own fuel, which is always going to mitigate against the cost of, the grid cost, if you like.
Yes, and on that theme, again, hooking back to GridServe, Toddington took me up on the roof. I thought for one moment it was because he didn't like me, he was going to try and help me fall off. But no, it's just solar panels on the roof.
Right. Yeah,
and
that's what you should do with all new buildings.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, I will be hugely disappointed if it doesn't happen. All these gigafactories that they're building out now, if they're not covered, front to back, top to bottom with solar panels, then I am not, you're not, I'm not, everyone's not going to be very impressed.
No. And we've just got to say, look, there's a string of Carver electric vehicles which are so cool.
Is that what you call it? A string of them?
I don't know, what do you call that? What would you call it?
A carver? Well, I don't know.
They're carving a groove.
Yeah, carvery of carvers?
It's a carvery. It's a carvery.
Nice.
Come to the carvery on
Yes,
Sunday.
that's it. We're making up language on the hoof. How good's that?
That is very good.
Yeah.
So we're going to wind it up there, Roger. But this has been fabulous catching up with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say to anyone who's listening on the European mainland, let's just call it that, to keep it as apolitical as possible, that we're doing a show in Amsterdam. Looking up the dates.
Honestly, dankjewel, tot ziens, alstublieft. I love the Dutch. They have a can-do attitude.
They do.
You
They're
you
amazing.
go to a place like Amsterdam, everybody's friendly. And I tell you what, there's a ton of cool EV stuff going on there.
There's amazing EV
I
stuff.
hope you're going to show electric boats.
Electric boats.
Yep.
The kind of real exciting thing is the Xiaopeng or Xpeng motors are having a stand there with all their electric cars, which is very exciting.
I think you're
first time in Europe.
As I see you as Batman and Robin with that other fella, with Dan, I think he told me you're going to have what's it called, Electric Avenue, whole load of electric
vehicles on display, and it's going to be on May. I'm looking for Help. It's in May.
It's in May,
Jesus,
soon
when
in
is
May.
it?
I think it's about the 11th and 12th, something
I think
like
it's
that.
later.
No, it's not. It's later.
20th
20th and 21st.
20th and 21st
Yeah.
of May. That
in
was
the Rye. I even know where it is.
It's in the Rye. I do know that.
Yeah, in the Rye, which is
Amsterdam.
right in the middle of Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So people should come along. Please come from Germany. Willkommen nach Deutschland.
That's very good.
Yeah.
France.
Bienvenue.
Bienvenue.
Bienvenue à Française.
Ah oui.
What else?
Flemish is going to be tough for both of us.
Geen dank. No, I
Just
can't do it.
just
I
stop
can't
it.
do
Let's
it.
leave
Look,
it
I don't want to damage the microphone.
But do come along to Fully Charged Live Amsterdam because if you're listening to this and you didn't come to Fully Charged Live UK, it's a bit late. There will be another one of these next year. There's also Fully Charged Live North next year at Harrogate.
Oh, hey,
Yeah, which is very
now
exciting.
Then you're talking.
Although what I loved is the amount of comments I had on Twitter going,
was that?
"That's not north." And I go, "Well, Harrogate is pretty north."
Now, Harrogate is an enclave of Richmond.
It is.
Up
It
in
is like
Yorkshire.
Richmond.
Yeah,
it is
a bit.
very nice. But
It
it's
is.
a lovely exhibition centre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that will be fab. But Rob, thank you so much for inviting me.
It's been
I'm
great
definitely
fun.
coming to Amsterdam as well. I'm going to go there on that train thing
Yes,
on the
yes, you can get there on
Eurostar.
a train. I think quite a lot of people from the UK are going, and there is a wonderful ticket scheme. If you're coming here, you can get a free ticket to go to Amsterdam if
Oh.
you get there, as long as you don't fly there.
Oh, no one told me that.
Yeah,
Paid
we
now.
kept it from
Yeah,
you.
thanks. Well, on that note,
On that note.
bombshell.
If you have been, thank you for listening.